Thank you very much, Professor Dr. Imlia from Georgia. Uh, Very interesting information you provided us regarding the immigrants from the international different scenarios, religious perspective, cultural issues. Uh, Normally, it is said that the wars are started by men and the results are faced by women and the children. So it is unfortunate and it is happened all over the world. By watching your discussion and presentation about the immigrants and the statistics, the United Nations and other sources are provided here, I was thinking that the harassment with the immigrants, male or the female, is their main cause is a religion or ethnic values, culture, or what are the main things there that why the immigrants face harassment, especially females? What is your point of view?
As I see and as we see, it is mainly from the both aspect, cultural and religion aspects as well. Because we know that this new wave of immigrants are especially from Asian countries, yes? And here, culture and religions are combined. So they just face harassment from this point. I want to give a small, just how to say, a small history from my life, because I also was a migrant, but like the third wave, it was like how to labor migrant. When Soviet Union collapsed, we went to live on Cyprus, but I did not face this harassment because you know that Soviet Union also were like, I don't know what kind of Europe, it wasn't European people were not, but we did not have such strong religious and cultural identities because in Soviet Union everywhere everyone was the same, just it was just how to say no religious and cultural identities, and we grew up in such kind of environment. So when we went there, we are just like the same like the European people. Of course we did not have such great experience like Europeans, but our behavior, our just clothing, etc. Did not attend much how to say attention. That's why I did not feel myself so harassment like these people. So it may be combined from both religious and cultural side. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. So where there is a country and there is the issue of immigrants and workplace harassment, but we found that there is no religious practices. People are there. They are not much interested in religion, like the many European countries are not much practicing the religious practices as compared to the Muslim world. So there is also a cause of religion of such type of harassments when the people are immigrants or do migration somewhere other places or at the borders like that.
Yes, you know, like you told that European culture, European people don't exercise religion, so they are not religious people, and it is very weird for them when someone, for example, in the center of Berlin just start praying because it is namaz time. It is very weird for them, and they are kind of scared of this situation. You understand? Their reaction also, yeah, this is because if they practice religion, they would not be so just surprised or so scared. This is the problem. Yes. If these people go to work, for instance, I don't know, in other countries, in Muslim countries, in Turkey, maybe they will not just face such kind of things, because also it is also Muslim country and it's also religious country. But Europe, no culture, no religion, nothing, just ordinary everyday life. It's European way. You know, I want to tell you that due to the Europe and Soviet Union also, I myself, I don't feel any strong religious cultural roots because my father was Muslim, but as I told you, my teenage was beginning of teenage was in Soviet period and continue in Europe. So I also don't understand who I am, what I do, and why I do this. So this is Part-2 upbringing.
Right. Fantastic. Anyone from the audience who is interested to ask a question from Professor Emilia regarding the immigrants' workplace harassment? Anyone? Please. Students. Yes, please.
Unmute. Unmute yourself. You are muted.
Oh, now can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yes.
now yes.
I want to say thank you for such interesting report, and I want to ask you. You were talking about differences between immigrants and their children, as I understand. Yes, I mean children who were born in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
Use it must be this difference. How maybe you know this data, because I understand it is short report. What about children of immigrants? Is it easier for them? They study at European schools, they study at the universities. Probably for them it is easier to integrate into the European society, and it is easier to work in European structures and businesses. Or no, again, the same story.
Yeah, it is a bit easier because, you know, they have peers, they know language, like you told, they know language, they are born there, they go to kindergarten and start to raise a bit outside of home, a bit in European style. But when they come home, there is a kind of diffusion, and you know what they experience? They outside, they experience Europe, and inside they experience Asia, but still they adopt easily because if just parents just don't give much pressure, it will be more easy for them to integrate. I think so, yes, because at least they know language, and second, they have friends, so it is easier for them, and it's a kind of very good mixture.
Thank you. Thank you. Anyone from others? Any question from the participants who want to ask? Okay. So we are now turning to the third speaker. She is a great ambassador of women rights. Right now, she is working as a consultant and she is a lawyer from UAE. Malik Terbilisi, if I'm not wrong, please correct me if I'm pronunciation is not good. So please correct me. She is a fantastic speaker on the women rights. She is very activist on the women rights and regarding the workplace harassment and other legal issues for the working women. So we are lucky here today to welcome her for this wonderful session, and she will share with us the international practices, especially from the UAE perspective, what is happening there and how we should avoid such type of practices and how we can gain the knowledge, these kind of practices. So please, this is your turn and please start.
Hi everyone, thank you, and thank you for having me, Professor. And I would like to introduce myself in order for the audience to know me a little bit more, and like that we can share some insights and move forward with working toward combating sexual harassment in general, because actually sexual harassment in workplace is just one layer of this social issue that women we are facing, or we faced at least once or twice or more in our lives. Depends on the culture and
Please carry on.
yeah, depends on the culture where we are in. So actually, I am a legal practitioner. I'm international business law and international space law a practitioner. I am also expert in international public law and international European law. I am activist in terms of human rights. I am advocating gender equality, and I am active in a lot of programs regarding this one. I advise also a lot of NGOs and other entities on pro bono cases and strategies and everything. So I'm also multidisciplinary. I'm making my PhD in international space law, sustainable development, and economic space economy. So as women is the center of all our activities, and the center of the socio-economic development that we want to reach as and evolve as a species. It's very, very important to tackle these kind of things. And I speak a lot about cyber harassment. I speak a lot about also gender equalities and so on. So it's one of the issue that that it has to do a lot to do with the culture itself. I am originally from Tunisia. I moved to the States, United States, then I came to UAE. I'm married to European, my husband is European, so I'm working in international environment. So I see a lot of issues that they are inherited within the culture itself, whether Eastern or Western. Some cultures, and I've seen United States, the problem is the aggressive, how women are very abused at home. It starts at home and it goes to work, it goes, and United States laws, and it's the land of freedom. But the problem comes always from the woman itself, how to tolerate this kind of things. It's very, very important to empower women in order to speak up and to move forward, because whether it comes at home or it is coming from workplace or it's coming in the streets or wherever she is, if she doesn't take an action and go fight for her rights when she is harassed, here is the problem. Here, how to step forward and make it. But there is also another issue that is very, very, very difficult not difficult, but we should explain and we should raise our voices, is what is sexual harassment? Can we know what is sexual harassment in order to move forward and take an action and go seek help, whether at the organization you are in or to the local authorities? So it's very, very important for women to know where sexual harassment starts and where it ends, because when it starts and we tolerate it for some time, it will end up to a rape. And at the end of the day, when she is in a culture that culture doesn't allow women to move forward because of the family, the tribe, or the culture in general, doesn't allow women to speak up and to say, I got harassed or I got raped. Here is the problem, because at the end of the day, she will end up by being asked and requested for that behavior that she went through, because they will blame her and it comes to her. This is very, very important, because knowing what is it, it's the problem, and also knowing how to tackle it is another problem. The third problem, which is the central issue, is the culture I am in. Does it allow me to speak up, or is going to bring me issue to me? Because like in a lot of Islamic countries, the woman, when she is in a situation where she's with another guy alone in a closed place, she will be blamed if she goes to the police to say that she got raped. Why? Because they will tell her, well, you cannot be in one place, closed place, with another person. This is another thing that it's really, really a low technical issues that we are facing, and I've done a lot of comparative studies regarding this, and it's existing in legal systems in Islamic and Arabic countries. Other than that is the culture also, because the father is knowing, the uncle is knowing, or whatever, the woman, she will get raped or she will get harassed and end up by being murdered, because at the end of the day, she put their name on the floor. That's what is on the dirt. That's what is the problem. So I will, because I've seen some questions here and asking what is sexual harassment? Is it saying this thing is harassment or not? So it is defined by the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission as in its guideline as unwelcome sexual advances, requests for sexual favors, and other verbal or physical conduct of sexual nature when submission to such conduct is either explicitly or implicitly a term or condition of an individual employment, or submission to or a rejection of such conduct by an individual is used as basis for employment decisions affecting such individual, or such conduct has the purpose of unreasonably interfering with an individual work performance or creating an intimidating, hostile or offensive working environment. At the end of the day, it's all what we say is touching the dignity of women. Like women did not ask for it, even if she did not speak up like she did not make a request, or she did not show any affection to that person or whatever. It touched the dignity, it touched something. But at the end of the day, it comes to the governance in the company itself, how tolerant there is to sexual harassment. Do they have guidelines? Do they have what is the governance regarding that? But when it comes to any social issue and the socio-economic and legal structure, culture is one of the main factors to be addressed, because the starting point here to know a state of law in a given context, to be aware of the culture foundation of that law is the culture itself. So we may say that it's an epistemological outcome. Law isn't simply a set of rules of social facts, nor a set of values. It's a complex set of features defining and expressing a legal culture. Well, each social problem, and harassment is one of them, may vary according to the jurisdiction, from one jurisdiction to another. Each state is organized according to a certain scale of values. Some states may share the same values and interrelation between each other. For instance, some like Islamic laws within different jurisdiction, Islamic law may be applied differently. And here comes the jurisdiction where we have the Islamic law, like I said, and women will be very, very worried and scared to go and step forward to say, I got harassed or I got raped. Because at the end of the day, like I said, why you were there at that moment? Because you infringed the law being with a man in a certain situation without your thing. And here comes also, and I've seen some cases where the colleague come to the house, or she goes to the house to the colleague, and she end up, because she was invited, end up in a situation where she's harassed. So that problem is like, is the harassment will be taken over to the organization or taken over to the law? And if it's going over to the authority, how the authority will take it? Is it actually she would be jailed because she was at that situation in because she chose to be, and she is the one who made the mistake to be there. So actually, I will take the UAE law as an example, because I practice here. Actually, knowing that UAE is a hub for international business. People from different walk of life are here, from different ethnicity, religion, and so on. It's a complex legal system where there's really a cross-fertilization of laws around, and not like it's the civil French civil system with the Islamic Sharia law. We have some jurisdiction with the British, common law system in the free zones. So the law is very, very particular when it comes to human rights, to workers, employees' rights, to sexual harassment. And I've seen a lot of newspaper articles and people coming forward to say the law protects you as an employee. Please step forward and go make an action whenever you are facing any sexual harassment. So the sexual harassment here, it goes from the penalty shall be imprisonment for a period of not less than 2 years, and a fine not less than 50,000 dirhams AED, or none of these penalties if the perpetrators are multiple or perpetrator carries a weapon and everything else. So it gets even higher, the sentence, and it goes even worse. And under the UAE labor law, Article 120, I think, there is a penalty of like an employer may terminate the service of an employee who is penalized by a criminal judgment. So here the law really protected the victims. So the thing is, like, to say is the main problem with the victim itself, it's coming from ignorance about their rights and how to deal with the sexual harassment itself. It's other than the law and the culture and so on. So the victim fear retaliation from the offender, a loss of job, a humiliation by colleagues, and home issues, and so on. But the new law in UAE will encourage the victims of sexual harassment to come forward, and especially the employees, to come forward and take a stance and do something about it. So like in the beginning, I was talking in general, but like at the end, I was speaking about the UAE law and the UAE legal system, how women in general and employees and so on. And what is very, very good about this point, that in the sexual harassment in law, it's not only about women, it's about both sex. So, and even men toward men harassment, sexual harassment, it's not even looking at the sexual orientation, which is very, very good. So sexual harassment is there, the law will apply.
Okay, thank you very much. It's a fantastic talk, international perspectives, and you talk about the religious aspects, cultural aspects, and the legal aspects as well. Very interesting for me. You are originally from Tunisia, right?
I'm from Tunisia in North Africa.
Okay, and right now you are practicing at UAE, right?
Yes, I'm practicing in UAE, but I'm international. I practice internationally. Yes.
So first, I want to understand that how you feel that, because the both places, both countries are the religious perspective. They are the Islamic states, right? So I want to understand that because the UAE has a more liberal and more international culture as compared to Tunisia. So I want to understand how the females from Tunisia are different regarding on workplace harassment as compared to UAE. So what is your answer on it?
Well, I left Tunisia a long time ago. I was like, well, I left Tunisia since I was younger, age 20 years ago, and since then I did not live in Tunisia anymore. But I know very well that Tunisian women are known for speaking up. They are very, very strong women. The problem is like what Tunisia went and what Tunisian women lived during after the Arabic Springs and the change of one political party to another, and the turmoils going on here. I've seen a lot of hostility and a lot of abuse toward women, that even like a few days ago, I've seen that some lawyer, she was practicing I mean, she was going to the police station and she got abused in the police station. I did not see what is the outcome of this, but she talked about it and she raised things. So the issue over there, it's related. Like, let's say, and go back to the thing, Tunisian women are very, very strong women. They talk and they had freedom since like one of the first Islamic country banned the polygamy. So in Tunisia, only men can marry one woman. So we are that advanced into human rights and women's rights. So, but the issues right now with the political issues and the turmoils within the country and instability got me seeing some issues going on, and the problem is coming from the authority itself. Because in a country, when the authority is or the law enforcement are not doing their job properly, no rights will be protected.
Right. So I have one more question. This is regarding legal aspect, legal perspective. Sometimes it is observed that harassment sometimes start a transactional nature. I mean, from both sides, from the both genders, and eventually it is entered. If some targets are not achieved, then it enters into one side, and one is a complainer and one other is a defender. In this scenario, what the legal aspect, especially the corporate structure where the organizations are working, the male and female, both genders are working there, the both genders are eager to their career, but in starting they try to get some benefit from each other, but if they, any one of them will get failed, so what it should be there regarding legal aspect?
Regarding the legal aspect in terms of let me rephrase it if I, because the voice was a little bit cut and off. So you are asking if can you just try to say it again, because it was cut and off. I missed some points.
Yes, my question is, in short, my question was, sometimes the harassment when started is transactional from, I mean, both sides, male and female, they are agreed on it. But after some time, if male have some objectives behind that relationship, or the female have some relationship targets on that relationship, but she failed to get those objectives, and after that she start blaming on the other gender, that is a harassment. So in this scenario, what's the legal opinion on it?
Yes, actually, it's very good question. Here we look at the consent. If there is consent in the situation, and actually proving the consent can be done with different rule of based on the rule of evidence within the jurisdiction itself, because you said that there is a mutual agreement from the beginning, but when it doesn't go like she wants, she tried to bring the situation up. So what will be looking what we look at in the beginning, is there any proof of consent? If there is a consent, it will not be categorized as sexual harassment. It will be something else. So this is very important question, that it's important. And some other situation, women, when she wants to have she wants to have favors or whatever, or she doesn't like her boss, or she wants to put him in trouble or whatever, she can go and press charges and saying that she's harassing him. So here saying that he's sexually harassing her. And here always from my point of view, and from the authority, the law enforcement or the police, when women step forward, they put under scrutiny the whole situation in order to understand if there is she's trying to set him up, or if there's a consent, or there's any type of what is the relationship between both of them. And they go through the evidence, and they go through the facts and everything, in order to find out if her claim is legitimate or not.
That's fantastic. This is Atfa Tariq Rindawa. She asked a question. Please, if there is online Atfa, you can ask question directly. Is Atfa there?
Yes, sir, I am here. Actually, I'm just asking that there is some kind of policies in different organizations for harassment, but I feel that people do not whistleblow sometimes because of inquiry issues. Sometimes inquiry get too harsh that people do not want to interfere in that inquiry. They just, we can say that they can just said that we should get stopped. We do not do whistleblow so that the inquiry will not depend on them. Is there anything else that do you think that there is any issue behind policies, harsh policies of inquiry behind this?
So your question is actually you want to ask either a fault in the policies or the atmosphere or the internal intention of the aggrieved party, right?
Right.
It's a little tricky here because from one jurisdiction to another it's totally different. So it's the thing is like whistleblower. Actually, you want to make it to the authority. So for example, in most of the jurisdiction, when there is a sexual harassment, that sexual harassment need to be brought or taken forward by the person, the victim itself, because there is something. It's for example in UAE, it will not work. This type of crime will not work if the person who is the victim doesn't move forward and take action. Not even her husband or anyone else can do it. So this is one point, and the other point in organizations like multinational organizations and so on for sexual harassment. I haven't come across whistleblowing for sexual harassment. It's most likely it's something else to do with corruption and other crimes that they are really higher crimes, but usually multinational, they have very good governance, and when there is a sexual harassment, they are protected, and she would move forward and go to the HR and press the things, and even with the boss, the highest one, because they have their own rules, and if she has evidence and whatever, she will not be retaliated.
Fantastic. Other question from Ronik Ara Parveen from Bangladesh. He was asking, I think so, something. Ronik is there?
Yes, sir.
Please,
I
you are
have
asking
dropped
something.
a question. Okay. Yeah, sir. Thank you. Thank you for the platform. Okay, I'm asking that in Asian countries, there is a culture of stigmatization of women. If a woman complains against a male, then her colleagues also blame her that her appearance, her gesture, posture has made compelled to harass her. How can we overcome the situation? There is a difference between sexual harassment and rape. But if a woman complains as a sexual harassment, but then after others blame her that she has been raped, how to overcome this situation? Why not we ask who is the harasser, but we ask who is harassed?
Okay.
That is
Okay. Very interesting question. We will be back just after a minute because there is a session. And after 1 minute break, we will be here with the same question. And it is a very interesting question. And there will be a very interesting answer as well. So we join again. So don't move there anywhere. We are here back right now.